Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all had a Merry Christmas and continue to have a great New Year. And this video is just going to be talking about the DCU. A few weeks ago, we got a teaser trailer of the Superman movie directed by James Gunn, and it looks good. I watched it myself, and it looks actually pretty good so far. And with that, it also marks the James Gunn's official attempt to start, the DCU, what the DCU tried to do and failed after, a few years. So, I want to talk about what I think of the DCU and how it's going to work out. I watched a few DCEU movies, like the Zack Snyder films, like Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, like those kind of stuff. And I gotta say, it wasn't disappointing, but I can see the criticisms on Zack Snyder's take on the Justice League, what Batman and Superman's first fight would be, and so on with other stuff that the DC universe was going to be like. Now, with the Superman trailer coming out, the DCU looks like it's going to be a good hit with the superhero world, but it will have problems to work out. One, it can't repeat what the DCU flopped and failed on. It actually has to continue with it, because they only made like 13 films in that franchise, probably because of bad view critics and how people didn't like those films. So, but some of them were actually good. Like, I enjoyed Man of Steel, and Batman vs. Superman was okay. The fight was, not what people would expect Batman and Superman's first fight would be like. And then you have Wonder Woman, which I never actually saw, but I hear it was good. Same with Wonder Woman in 1894 was actually really good. Since the MCU was a big hit since 2008, people thought, oh, let's make a DC universe like the MCU with Marvel did. And they tried with the DC extended universe, but no, they did not work. They didn't have storyline in most of their projects, and they just didn't continue with it. They switched plot lines. The Zack Snyder's take on the Justice League was supposed to be like a 3-hour part 2 film, but they cut down a lot of the scenes because of the budget cost. So a lot of things in DCU didn't really work that. I hope that James Gunn's DCU's take will actually be good. Things I expect from this is just I just hope it's good, because Superman's trailer looked really good, and I just hope it lives up to the expectation because when you watch trailers, it's good, you expect the movie to be good. Then you walk into the theater, and the movie's actually trash, and you walk out being disappointed because the trailer was a big hype. What was with the movie? That was just not a good take on the DC. The DCU was a massive flaw, as I said before multiple times. But the DCU actually looks like it's gonna be good. A lot of people really like the trailer. A lot of YouTubers and viewers actually enjoy it and think it's gonna be good. James Gunn directs a lot of good stuff. He was the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, and that was a good, massive hit in the MCU placing. The main thing I hope is that they continue. They just don't make Superman, and then if it turns out bad and viewers don't like it, they just stop. They just say to themselves, oh, this movie didn't go out great. We're not going to make a whole universe. Because that's basically what happened to DCU. They made 13 movies, and then people hated them, and they just let down their projects and let it go. And that makes sense, because when people don't really like producers' movies, they usually just tend to either make a new project that they actually like, or just stop altogether, which I really wish they kept going with the DCEU just to see maybe it would pick up, because the MCU had flops and roars in the past, and no matter what happens, they still go. And it's still continuing to this day. Like, more projects for the MCU are coming out, along with Captain America Brave World, Avengers Secret Wars, Avengers Dynasty, and I think they're making the MCU's take on the Fantastic Four. And with the DCU, I just hope they, like, go a little bit with take a little hints from MCU, not completely, but take some hints from it. Like, they have solo movies, and then eventually lead up to the big team up, because that's what happened in the MCU. Like, they started with Iron Man, and then they kept going individually with the heroes on their own solo movie, one of them, and then they did the whole Avengers team up, and then brought the whole team together, and then we could understand all their individual stories. The only thing I don't like about the Avengers teaming is that we didn't get a solo Black Widow movie before the first Avengers movie. We got that movie after Endgame, which, like, I wish they explained all their, because we also don't have a solo Hawkeye movie. We have a Hawkeye series, but not a solo movie, which I really think a Hawkeye solo movie would actually be kind of cool to see. Because we don't really see much of Hawkeye until the Avengers. The only time we do see him is in Thor, and that's in, like, one scene. So I just hope the DCU, James Gunn, actually takes part of that and, like, focuses on at least the main big three members of the Justice League in the DC universe. Like, they focus on Superman, which they're doing that in July. Then they focus on Batman, a Batman solo movie, and then a Wonder Woman movie. And if they keep going with solo movies for the whole Justice League members, I'll be okay with that. And then eventually leading to their Justice League movie. I hope they do that, because then you'll understand how they got there, and you'll enjoy it more. Because another flop of the DCU, they did Man of Steel, and then they did Batman vs. Superman, and then they did the Justice League, which the whole plot of it was to bring Superman back, because he died at the end of Batman vs. Superman, which I just don't get. And then they just had to do a Wonder Woman movie, kind of like how the MCU did with Black Widow, with her movie coming out after Endgame, but not timeline-wise. Like, timeline-wise, Black Widow takes place right after Civil War, which actually makes more sense, because the whole story plot of Black Widow was after the events of Civil War, because General Ross is after her. But, like, they need to focus on at least maybe 4 good solo movies of the entire Justice League, maybe, and then they get into a Justice League. And then, hopefully, I just hope this whole James Gunn project envelops into a actual good universe and actually goes into what the MCU, not entirely, but somewhat of what the MCU is now. It will be very satisfying to see an actual good DCU live-action movie universe. Because, like I said, I enjoyed some DCU movies, but not many. The Zack Snyder did kind of bad, because even Zack Snyder didn't even direct the Justice League film. He came back for, like, a noir version of it. But the original Justice League movie from the DCU was directed by someone else. I can't pinpoint the name, but it was directed by someone else. It wasn't even directed by Zack Snyder, which I feel like if they maybe he did direct Zack Snyder. If Zack Snyder did direct Justice League, maybe, just maybe, it would have turned out better than that movie actually did. Because even the noir version that he came back to direct wasn't even that good. So, yeah, you can't win everything. So this Superman movie should be really good. The trailer is good. I'm really excited for how it's going to go, and I just hope, please, that James Gunn continues with a Batman movie, a Wonder Woman movie, and so on, and get to a Justice League movie, and just make a whole universe of this. Fingers crossed for that, but, like, really fingers crossed. I just hope that happens. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the DCU is going to be a flop, or is James Gunn actually going to do a really great job and make a whole entire universe that everyone that likes DC will enjoy? Because I'm personally excited. I just hope it comes out on, like, a streaming service that it's available, like Netflix or Disney Plus, probably not Disney Plus. I don't know if Disney owns DC, but let me know in the comments what you guys think of the DCU, and do you think you'll enjoy it, and do you want it to turn into an actual big universe like the MCU did? Thanks for joining me on this discussion, and I hope to see you all next week on Saturday for another video. Wyatt, signing out. But remember, peace and kindness, the things we need most. Stay wild.